saying you could go to prison.
But I don't know how I'm gonna live with myself if I don't stay true to what I believe.
With the world so set on tearing itself apart, doesn't seem like such a bad thing to me to want to put a little bit of it back together.
Idea of this guy that is so convicted that he will withstand peer pressure, withstand anything else, and really stay true to what he believes in. So maybe talk to me about diving into a real guy that had this type of character.
That was, I think, the first hook for me in reading the script. I mean, first of all, it just hits you on such an emotional level, I think. It's undeniable, the profound effect it has on a reader and then an audience. I think people can't help but get incredibly moved by seeing who he was and then what he did, how he was treated and then how he treated others. And that thing of holding on to his true self, holding on to his integrity and amidst not only an insane, horrific situation in war, but within his own army being abused and oppressed and told to be something he's not. It takes kind of a miracle, actually. It's kind of a revolutionary act, I think, to hold on to who you are amidst that kind of pressure.
And I loved that by him doing that, he was able to create change, right? By him being who he was, by him day in, day out, living out, his word being his word. In your own life, when have you seen you being true to your actions and it actually has made a difference, small or big?
Totally. I mean, I think that's the key, and it's the strange setup we're in, it's remarkable in the moments where I feel like I have been true to myself. They have been the hardest moments in which to do that, and my actions are very misunderstood, or have been very misunderstood at the time of doing them, or at the time of saying no, or at the time of saying yes, whatever it is. But then, ultimately, it has a longer lasting effect on the people around you. That's my experience anyways. And I think that's the thing about Desmond. Him being his true self started to wake up other people to how they wanted to behave and how they wanted to live. He was an inspiration just by being him. He wasn't trying to proselytize to anybody. He wasn't trying to change anybody. All he was doing was going, I can't change who I am. And I think that's the wonderful thing about telling his story now, is that hopefully the ripples that will go through the audience, it might wake some people up to a deeper way of living out their own lives.
But you figure this war is just going to fit in with your ideas?
While everybody else is taking life, I'm gonna be saving it. And that's gonna be my way to serve.
And we see this father, right, who didn't make some good decisions, but at the end of the day loved his son so much that he's willing to do whatever it takes to allow his son to be who he is, right?
I think it's in the moment where Desmond tells his father, I've already enlisted and I go, I have to go and serve. It's like if there was an umbilical cord between father and son, which there is, but it's just invisible and imaginary. That's the moment of cutting. And it's a vital step, I think, in terms of the journey from boyhood to manhood. There is a betrayal that has to happen between father and son in order for a new relationship to be created. That's my experience anyway. So for me, Desmond's life up to that point had been very focused on attempting to heal his father's unhealable wounds. Mm-hmm. And his inability to do that with a traumatized, alcoholic, ragey, abusive, violent father. And then you see his actions on the battlefield. And I like to think that every man that he's treating and healing has some semblance of his father's face. That yearning, that unmet yearning to heal his father, translated into these miraculous things that he did on the battlefield. He wouldn't have been able to do the things he did without having that particular father with that particular wound. I think that's something kind of so beautiful, that idea that next to our greatest wounds are our greatest gifts. I think that's a wonderful idea.